All right, happy Tuesday. Good Tuesday morning to you. So, today we're going to do notes on 9-2. We skipped it because this is a pretty easy-ish lesson. So, find your notes for 9-2, pause the video, and push play when you have your notes. All right, let's recap old stuff. If I said y equals 2x, no, I don't want to say that. Okay, what if I said, just kidding, 4x plus 8 equals 9? And the directions said solve. This would actually take you all the way back to 6th grade. If I said solve this equation, what would you do? You would sing a song twice. You would subtract, rewrite, divide, rewrite. And your answer would be that fraction, x is 1/4. Then we did things like x plus 2 is less than 6, and I would say solve. But I might also say solve and graph because it's an inequality. Minus 2 from each side, x is less than 4. We drew a number line, open dot to the left. Solve this equation is just singing two songs. Solve and graph, singing a song, number line. Okay, last chapter we had a question that looked like this. X plus 4, parentheses, x minus 2 equals 0. And the direction said solve. When it looked like that, what did solve mean? Solve meant x plus 4 equals 0, x minus 2 equals 0, x is negative 4, x is positive 2. We had two answers. Up here we had one answer. Up here we had a lot of answers, so we drew a number line. Sometimes we would factor and solve meant set it equal to 0, and we would get two answers. Okay, today we're going to solve, but our strategy is solve by graphing. If I can't see your graph, it's wrong. If you can solve using another method, it's wrong because the directions say you have to solve by graphing. So if you don't follow directions and you don't solve by graphing, then ruh-roh, not good. All right, when we solve, we're going to get x equals a number. We might even get x equals two numbers, just like over here. In the blue, we had one number. In the green, we had two numbers. The answer is technically the x-intercepts, but we're not supposed to know that, and we're not going to solve by factoring, but technically these are the x-intercepts. So we are going to graph, and then we're going to use our eyeballs to find the x-intercepts. Okay, let's draw a little sketch. The graph could look like this. This is an answer, and this is an answer. Maybe this is at 2, and maybe it crosses at 4. X equals 2, x equals 4. We're going to see a picture and use our eyeballs and write this answer. Right? Pretty easy, okay? Picture number 2, sketch number 2. Let's make it be over here in quadrants 2 and 3. This is the answer. This is the answer. Wherever it crosses the x-axis, the x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are the answer. So maybe this guy is -1 and maybe this guy is -5. It crosses at -1 and it crosses at -5. Okay, I don't know why, we don't need two more of these. Well, I guess we'll do one more. What if it looked like this picture? This is an answer and this is the answer. So maybe this is at 2 and maybe this is at -2. You're going to write x equals and x equals. Okay, we definitely don't need a third picture. Let's talk about weird ones. So we could have a weird graph that sits right on the x-axis. The first 3 examples I gave you, it crossed here and here. It crossed here and here. It crossed here and here. It's only going to cross once. We might have a question that only has one x. X equals, let's say, 3. It only crosses once. It only, like the vertex is on the x-axis. Therefore, there's only one answer. The other weird one, have you predicted it yet? What if there is no x-intercepts? It could be floating up here. There's nowhere does it cross the x-axis. So there's no solution. There is no x. X doesn't exist. We don't have any x's that will work for that equation. So to recap, we could have 2 places it crosses, 1 place where it crosses, or no places where it crosses. Okay, let's review. How do we graph? So this is what we did last week. This is what your quiz yesterday was on. We're going to go -b over 2a to find the vertex. We're going to stick it in to find, oh, sorry, this doesn't find the vertex. -b over 2a finds the axis of symmetry. Stick it back in, that finds the vertex. Then we're going to make a table of values on either side of the axis of symmetry. Now, I saw a TikTok video where a teacher was doing this, and I thought it was really clever, so we could steal her idea. If I get the axis of symmetry at x equals -3, normally I write x equals -3 right here, and then I start picking. She put it in the middle, and then she picked -2 and -4, and it was really easy to see how we're picking something on either side of the -3. Then I would pick -1 and -5. And I just thought that was really clever how she put it in the dead center. And I don't know, just why didn't I think of that? I was a little jelly of her. Okay, and then how do I solve? So I've graphed it. I've done -b over 2a to get my axis of symmetry. I stuck it back in to get my vertex. I made my table, making 5 dots, picking the right numbers. And so all of this is so that I can use my eyes to see where it crosses. Oh, I know what we should do. We should go back up to the top. I know. I'm pretty sure the homework, there's going to be another weird one. Let's add another weird one over here. So just take your pencil, boom, boom. It is possible, let's label this 1, 2, 3. It is possible for the dots to be in the middle. Like they would be decimal or fraction answers. I mean, it would be nice if everything was a whole number, but let's be realistic. Most answers are not going to be whole numbers. So it is possible that you're going to have to estimate. You're going to have to guess and just get close. Like really, you're not going to have what the book's answer is exactly. So maybe this looks really close to 0.2. And maybe this guy, he looked really close to 2.5. Okay, you're not going to, the book might have 2.6 or they might have 2.7. You're just going to estimate, you're going to get really close if it's between the 2 and the 3, if it's between the 0 and the 1. So I know that you have a section of homework where they're not going to be whole numbers. So I would call that a weird one. And you're just going to get close. Okay, here we go. So we need to do all of our steps, our negative b over 2a. Pause the video, work this out by yourself. You don't need me to do this. All right, my negative b over 2a is negative 1.5. I'm going to stick negative 1.5 back in to find my vertex. Pause the video and make sure you can stick it in and get the correct answer. All right, when I did that, I got positive 20.25. So my vertex is at negative 1.5, 20.25. It's time to take out some graph paper and graph this guy. Okay, there's my graph paper. I know that I'm going to have to go all the way up as high as 20 and a fourth, but it's negative, so it's going to go upside down, so I don't have to go any higher than that. All right, there's my vertex. So my axis of symmetry is at negative 1.5 and positive 20.25. Now I'm ready to make a table, and I'm going to use that other teacher's idea. So negative 1.5 is going to go in the middle. So if I pick numbers on either side of that, negative 1 and negative 2 would be easy, and they're whole numbers. Then I could pick 0 and negative 3. Now 0 is super easy because it's the y-intercept. So I can go ahead and do 0 is at 18. I know my negative 1.5 was this number. All right, so now let's pause the video, figure out what negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Oh gosh, you guys, we are going to have to go until it, like if we only do the ones up here, it's never going to cross. I think we're going to have to rethink what numbers we're picking. I don't think we should pick, okay, hold on here. We know the green number. The green number is there, so this would have a green number right here. Okay, I think we're going to have to pick like, I don't know. I mean, if it does this, it's somewhere in here, so maybe we should pick 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Let's go 3. Let's just pick 3 and see what we get. Pause the video, and we are now picking positive 3 in our table. I am not believing this. I picked positive 3, and look what I got. I got 0. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. 1, 2, 3, 3, 0. So 3 is 4.5 boxes this way. So I need to go 4.5 boxes that way. So here's my negative, let me get my pen. Here's my negative 1.5. I need to go, what did I say? 4.5 boxes. So let's just go here and then 1, 2, 3, boom, right there. And do I have 5 dots? I sure do. I have 2 green dots. I have my vertex dot, and luck happened that we picked 3. If I had picked 2, it would have been somewhere up in here. If I had picked 4, it would have been somewhere down in here. We just lucked out, woohoo-hoo. And I connect my dots, and I'm done, right? Done, woohoo. No, we have only graphed it. We've only done the work. We still have to solve by graphing. We've done the graphing. Now we need to solve by graphing. So where does it cross? Use your eyeballs. Tell me, where does it cross? Where does it cross? It crosses at 3, and it crosses at negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 and negative 6. We need at least 5 dots. We have that. We have a graph. Now, on the notes, I said you could double check by factoring. So if we wanted to factor this question, we could take out a negative, and now, 18. We could take out the negative 1, and now we say signs don't match. They have to make a 3 when we're done. So is it going to be 9 and 2 or 6 and 3? It's going to be positive 6 and negative 3. And if I checked by factoring, is that going to give me the same thing that it gave me by graphing it? Yes, it is. This would equal negative 6 right there. This would equal positive 3 right there. We cannot do this work. This is only for double checking or to help us. This work could help us make our table of values. But I still have to see 5 dots. I still have to see that you're graphing it correctly. Okay, we have one more to practice. Okay, so what was our first step again? Our first step was negative b over 2a. Pause the video. Figure it out. I got 2. Now I'm going to stick a 2 back in. 2 squared, negative 4 times 2. I got negative 1, so my axis of symmetry is positive 2. My vertex, my vertex is 2, negative 1. I'm ready to get some graph paper. You already have your graph paper. I need my graph paper. Okay, so on my table, I know that 2 is in the middle. And 2 gives me a negative 1. So if I'm graphing this, 2 gives me a negative 1. Now I need to go either side, so I could go 1 and 3, 0 and 4. 0 is always super easy because it's the y-intercept. So 0, 3. The other pink number will be 3. So 1, 2, 3. And right there. I need 2 more dots. So based off of this U, I think our logical dots, we were predicting it anyway, 1 and 3. I think we need to pick 1 and 3. So my blue dots, so I'm going to stick a 1 in. What's 1 squared? Negative 4 times 1. 1 minus 4 plus 3. Bingo, there's our 0. We wanted 0 and we got 0. I have 5 dots. I can connect. I can use my eyeballs. And I can say X, it crosses at 1 and it crosses at 3. I could double check by factoring. They match. They're both negatives. If they match and they're both negatives, how do I multiply to get 3, but add to get 4? If I were to solve this, would I end up with this? Yes, I would. But I have to see the picture with the 5 dots. Okay, there's the end of our notes. So you are ready, Freddie, to start on your homework. And I know I should not say this, and if you're listening till the end, good for you. If you want to use a calculator, you can. Okay, bye.